Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So today I'm going to share with you a completely free 1-hour training on n8n. You already know the tool. It's a very powerful tool nowadays that allows for automation. Today, this tool is trending because all companies are trying to download it and work with it. So if you want to learn automation with n8n, if you're a freelancer, you'll definitely find jobs, job offers, and opportunities to create workflows. And if you're an entrepreneur, mastering this tool will help you optimize your time and above all, make money. So my idea is simple: to create a workflow with you from A to Z. I'll start by giving you the workflow to download it. You will import it for free. You will have documentation inside this workflow once you download it. And then I will start creating this workflow from A to Z in front of you, starting from a blank page. For each node, I will show you how to do it without any setup, how to configure it. And you'll see it's a training from beginner to expert. The only complete training available on YouTube to help you become an expert in n8n. So watch until the end. It's 100% free. So with that, I wish you a great discovery. How are you doing? So today, a new workflow. It's a very powerful workflow that will use the n8n tool, the automation tool that allows me to automate my tasks. And also we're going to use Sora, this technology that's able to take just a simple photo and send me back a video. We're going to use this workflow to create videos for all our products. So imagine a company with an e-commerce website, for example, that has several products and wants to promote those products. So instead of looking for videos, downloading videos, or even editing or recording videos, which is too expensive, today with a simple tool we can just send in a simple product photo as input, just a basic photo. And then the system is able to generate several videos of that product. So for example, I'll do a simple test. And so this video is created using that workflow. So in just a few minutes, the system works all by itself. All I have to do is send it a photo on Telegram. The system is triggered automatically. So imagine if I have a website with 500 products, I could in a single day have 500 original videos, each one unique, because the system is actually able to understand the video, detect the brand, what it does, create hashtags, and most importantly, it's able to create videos that I can then sponsor on social networks. For me, all the videos that were created were published on several social networks, in fact on exactly 6 networks: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, YouTube, and LinkedIn. All of this was done simply with a simple extension that we added inside n8n, which is able to share automatically. So stay until the end of the video, because first I'm going to start by giving you the workflow to download. After that, I'll run through this workflow with you, step by step, so you can understand how it works. This is very important because that way you can adapt it, update it, and make sure it's really effective for your business and your product. And at the end, I'm going to give you a gift today because I'll give you access to all my courses on Udemy, especially for Black Friday. I'll simply give you a special coupon for everything. My YouTube audience, stay until the end. With that, I wish you a great training session. So before continuing with the training, I like to do a quick introduction for those watching the video for the first time. So I am Dr. Firas, and today I am a full-time instructor on the Udemy platform. So I create a lot of courses in the fields of marketing, business, and artificial intelligence. Today, I have several courses that are currently bestsellers in France. And I am also ranked as the most popular instructor on this platform in the French-speaking section. So here you can see my profile with several courses. Then if you search on Udemy just with the keyword n8n, you'll find that I have hundreds and hundreds of courses available today for the community, for those who want to purchase courses on Udemy. Also, of course, I have grouped all these courses together, which are advanced workshops on n8n. So I created the course from beginner to expert. So it's a course that brings together all my videos and all my workshops in one place. For those who are interested in getting access to this course, stay until the end of the video, because at the end, I'll give you a little gift to encourage you to really start the n8n courses from beginner to expert mode. Now let's continue our workflow. Now we're going to try to see how to download this workflow. I've simply downloaded the entire workflow from the source. I've put this particular file specifically on my platform, making sure that everything is set up correctly and ready to use. So here, you just need to access this link, which I'll also put in the description, n8n.dr-firas.vip. And then you'll simply enter your email address and you'll get direct access to this workflow, which you can easily download. So, once you receive the email with my workflow, this RA2 that will be used in this training, what you'll need to do, of course, is have what's called an n8n server in order to import this file. That's it, to be able to import it. So to import the workflow, I'm going to show you now how to quickly set up a very fast, powerful n8n server so that we can simply import and use this n8n tool. Now we'll simply need an n8n server to be able to create or import workflows. Today we have two options. Either we use the official n8n server, and so here in terms of cost it's a bit more expensive. That means here we're talking about $20 per month. But we're a bit limited in the number of workflows we can run at the same time. That means here I can only have 5 workflows running continuously, and that's really little, especially if you're a freelancer or even if you're a company that has created workflows for the business. Being able to run or activate only 5 workflows is very limited. So as a result, there's a cap on the number of workflows. If you want to increase the number of workflows, for example, to 20 running at the same time, you'll have to pay $50 per month, of course, with a monthly subscription. The second alternative is that I can go with Hostinger. I'll actually put a special link in the description that will take you directly to this page, and it also gives you a Black Friday deal. I hope, of course, that by the time you watch this video, the Black Friday deal is still available. So the link I gave you will actually allow you to get a cheap n8n server, but more importantly with unlimited workflows. That means I can even run 1000 workflows at the same time. And that's very interesting for freelancers and businesses. So the package I recommend is this one. This one uses 2 processors. And when you have 2 processors, it's really fast. It's a very powerful server. Unless you're someone who resells workflows. So in that case, you import a huge number of workflows, you run them, test them, and deliver them to clients. At that point, if you become a professional, it would be very interesting to go for 4 processors with this workflow. The KVM4, which is very powerful, but if you're a beginner, I recommend going straight for the KVM2. Now be careful, I'm going to give you another coupon that can also be applied here to get an additional discount. When I click on select, it takes me to this page with the Black Friday offer. I need to scroll down here a little bit. You're going to click on add a promo code. There's a promo code that's made for beginners, for anyone who wants to get started. It's right here. For the workflow, you simply need to type go n8n like this, go n8n. When you enter this coupon and click apply, you'll see that it reduces the price here as well, so you'll get a double discount. So now I click on apply, and there you go. We've saved €15.58 by applying this coupon. Another tip I'd like to share with you, when you scroll down here, there's an n8n server. So there you go, it's selected by default because that's what you're going to purchase. But there's another trick. When you choose this server, it gives you 100 workflows for free. That means when I confirm with this server, it's as if I'm getting an n8n server, but with the 100 most downloaded workflows in the world already pre-installed. And that's really a free bonus. So really you should take advantage of it because you won't have to add anything. It's better to have a server full of operational workflows. It'll make you want to keep going, to modify existing workflows. So all that's left to do is click here on continue to access your server. And we'll start right away by importing my workflow to see how it runs. So we can import our workflow if we want to actually see the execution. So now that we've created our server and we have this page, we can click here to import a workflow. So I click on import from file. Here on my computer, I've downloaded the workflow. It's this one. Of course, you need to select the version that's in .json format. So if the workflow is zipped, if it's compressed, you need to unzip it. And then I click on open. And you'll see that now I have the workflow that has just been installed this way. So now what we need to do is simply work on the configuration. Of course, we'll need a configuration so that the system can work properly, like configuring Telegram, setting up the necessary APIs for Sora, and so on. But here in this video, we're going to look at the execution and understand how information will flow through this workflow. Let's get started. Now we're going to create the workflow. The first thing to do is to create something called a trigger. The trigger will allow the entire workflow to be launched. You'll see that when we're done, we'll activate the workflow and it will always stay listening in case there's a trigger. So what I'm going to do is set up a trigger. Here we're going to look for Telegram. Telegram is one of my favorite triggers because it's the easiest to update and configure. So I choose the on message action, which means that if I send a message to Telegram, the system will start running. Here we're going to create a new client for a new connection to Telegram, and we need to get what's called the access token. How do you get the access token? It's simple, you just need to have Telegram first. You can download Telegram on your phone or computer. It's really available everywhere. You'll always find it in the documentation. This is the documentation you'll find in the course support with the links. So whenever I talk about an API, I usually include a link to the relevant information, which matches, okay? So you'll find this documentation in the course support materials. Now let's say I need to find the token. How do I do that? I'll come here, and in Telegram we actually need to create a session like here to make an exchange. To do that, I'll search in the search bar for bot. There it is, the one with the blue check mark. So I open the bot further. You'll see that here I'll type /newbot. So I type a slash like this, and as soon as I type the slash, all the commands will appear. I'll type newbot, and that will let me create a new bot or a channel where I can write messages, and those messages will be automatically connected with n8n. Now it asks me to suggest a name. Let's just put it like this. You put whatever name you want. I'll put a Dr. Firas Sora. I just hit enter. It says, very good. It tells me to add bot at the end, so I need to redo Dr. Firas Sora. So here we'll copy. Let's copy that and then paste it. If it doesn't paste, that's fine. I'll just type it again. Dr. Firas. If it doesn't paste, no problem. Sora. And I add here _bot. There we go. I hit enter and that's it. We've just created a new channel. The channel will be displayed here afterward, and now it gives me the token. Here is the token. So pay close attention. You'll see this whole part, that's the token. Specifically, it's this code here. Be careful. You need to copy the whole thing. So I selected use my keyboard. Hopefully Ctrl+C works. Then I come back here. Let's open a new window, and here I simply paste the token I just got. There you go. The code, the token has just been pasted. All that's left is to click save, and that's it. It tells me everything is good. The connection is successful. So I go back to Telegram, look in Telegram. You'll see that here, look, there's actually a link that can take me to that channel, so I can click here, and now we're actually ready to communicate with n8n. So I'll close this. Well, it would be good to give it a name here. Let's just call it Telegram Sora, or simply Sora. Just like that 3 times, because I have other Sora accounts, or so that the Telegram name remains unique. So now I'll simply click on save and leave this page. And I leave this page, there you go. So now, of course, you should always remember to save your work. Your workflow, there you go. So if you want to give it a name here as well, that's possible, but always remember to save. Now, to test if it works properly, I come here and I'm going to ask to run this step. So now it's waiting for me to send it a little message. For the message, we'll just click on start, and normally we'll see that it will simply start. So let's see here. Look, there you go. It just started up properly, so everything is fine. The system, the trigger, everything works very well. Now what we're going to do is create what's called a workflow configuration. It's a small node that will actually allow us to put inside it the different zaps that we'll need later on, especially for the workflow. Alright, so here we're going to add something. We'll click on the plus button, and then we'll actually select a node that will allow us to define certain variables. That's why here we're going to choose edit. So we'll select this node here, edit files. This one actually allows me to simply create certain variables that I'll use later on. Among the variables that interest me the most is actually the API for fail AI. This website will give me an API that I can connect to on Sora. That's why I'm creating the API here so I can use it later. And this will be very interesting. Why? Because if one day I change the API or the API expires, I won't have to go deep into the workflow to find the node that uses that API. And especially sometimes in a single workflow, we might find that we use this API several times. So in that case, it's better to define it here. And every time I call this variable, it's this variable that will represent the value of that code. So I can also define the model. If I want to work with the Sora 2 model, because there's Sora 2 and there's Sora 2 Pro, I'll show you that so you can understand a bit more. So I can also do this as a parameter, but to simplify the training, we're not going to define it. We'll go straight to actually setting the ratio. Do I want my system to be 16:9 or 9:16? That is, do I want it to give me a vertical or horizontal photo? That's something I can simply require. And also the duration of the video. I can also define the duration of this video here. I would set it, for example, if I want it to be 12 or 24 seconds. It all depends actually, or maybe a much shorter video. In that case, it would be very interesting to go to the falafel site for a friend. I've also included the link to this in the documentation. So you simply need to go here to retrieve our API key. So I click there and you'll see that here in my system, I have an option for API keys. So here in the system, I can create several API keys. If you don't have an API key, you just need to click there, give a name to this API, click on create, and the system will give you an API key. Once you have this API key, what you'll do is simply paste it here, and the system will use this API key later. So we've just done the configuration. Of course, we can call it workflow configuration here, just so we remember what this is for. So now I have my workflow configuration ready to launch. Now, we're going to try to test it by sending a real image with some text to actually ask it to work on the video and then see the result it gives me. So now, to continue, we're simply going to test Telegram here. So we're going to run it. Now, I'm going to share my screen. Of course, I need to go to the new channel that I connected to my n8n. And now, I'm simply going to send an image. Let's pick a very simple image like this to understand the concept. So I've actually chosen this image. There we go. So we're going to use this image. I'll add a short description to it just to explain what my goal is with this product. A simple text. Of course, you can choose to write it in French or not. You're free to choose the language afterwards, so I'll go ahead and start. You'll see that as soon as I launch it, right here on n8n, it picks it up. So if I open it here, I'll find all the information related to the image and especially my caption here. Now, what I'm going to do, of course, is that I'd also like to add my file API here so I can use it. So now I'm going to enter my key. It's a secret key, so I'll enter it and pause the video. There we go. Now I can run it here. Very well, so the system has taken all these variables into account. Now what I need to do at this point is simply to add a new node, which will be responsible for extracting important information from my old system. This step will help ensure that all the necessary data is properly transferred and integrated from the previous setup. So once again, I'm going to do edit files. So here, I simply click on the plus button and then I carefully look for the option labeled edit. There we go. So I can define the new variables. So here I select, well, here in this one, it's going to extract the photo and the text, and we're simply going to place them into variables. So here we're actually going to put the image URL. So here I'll just give a name to the image URL, and I also need to add the text that was sent. So I'll just call it promotion text. Now you should know that with Telegram, when I send a photo, it splits it into several sizes. Look here, this is a small size, and here is a slightly larger size, and it all depends on the image you send. If you send a large image, it can split it into 4 or 5 images. If it's just a small image, it will keep it as is. So it's a system that saves the image in several sizes. That's basically Telegram's algorithm. Now, what I'd like to do is find the one with the largest size, with the ID, the file ID. That's the one I'm interested in. If I put it here, then imagine I send a smaller image. Now, I don't have photo number 3 here, so I might only have number 2, or perhaps even just number 1. So how can we make this dynamic? You see here in the frame where there's the 3, I'm simply going to run a little regular expression to tell the system to detect how many images were sent and to take the ID here. It's n-1. Without going too much into detail, each JPD can create this for you, and in the documentation I've actually included here the expression I used. So where you see inf, the inf actually calculates the number of photos that were sent. In our case, 4 photos were sent. Look here, 1, 2, 3, but it's actually 4 because it started from 2. 0 is also an image, photo 0. So as a result, the system will say that it sent 4 photos on Monday. For the last photo, it's going to be in -1, which means number 4, but for us, it's going to be 3. It's a bit mathematical without going too much into detail. I'm going to copy this, just a quick copy, and here, a quick paste. When you create a workflow and you want it to be standard to work for everyone, if I want to do it just for myself and I know I always send photos in high resolution, I could simply skip this function. But it's better to do it this way so that it always captures the largest image. As for the text, it's simple. I come here, so caption. Look, Telegram caption. I take that and just put it here, that's it. So now if I run it, if I click execute, we'll see that it retrieves this information. So I click on execute and there you go, my system has correctly sent it. It created a variable containing the text and here the file ID of the photo. You'll see that this will help me later to download the photo. So we've just finished. Now a very useful tip, as I always say, select all this and pin it. That way, if I save, if there's a bug, if I restart, I won't have to rerun everything. All the data will be saved here. So this helps me when I'm writing workflows. It really helps. So we've just finished this step. The next step, of course, is to think about downloading the image. Because when you send it on Telegram, it's on Telegram's server. So you need to retrieve it and ask Telegram to get that image so I can upload it, download it, and manipulate it as needed.